Hello everyone. Today we learn about source of stellar energy. Without wasting any time, let's begin.
The stellar energy, if you remember that when we talk about the sun back a couple ago, we said that the sun produces energy by fusing hydrogen into helium, and the proton-proton chain, right? Two protons come together gives off a neutrino. There's a posi- uh, positron becomes deuterium, which is an isotope of hydrogen bombarded by another hydrogen, give off another gamma ray, becomes trigger, becomes isotope of helium, but it needs to bombard itself with another helium of the same kind, give off two hydrogen and becomes a healing. All right, so many stars are gonna make their energy the same way that the sun goes using the proton-proton chain. However, the CNO cycle, the carbon nitrogen oxygen cycle, is much more efficient. However, it requires higher temperature than the proton-proton cycle. Both this process going to be the same. The take one helium and add take one hydrogen, add it to another hydrogen, and add another one in make helium. So stars have to be slightly more massive and they have much higher temperature in order for carbon nitrogen oxygen. Star that are more massive than 1.1 solar masses can use the CNO cycle, and the last minute less massive are the ones that have to use the proton-proton cycle. Takes you through car, adds a hydrogen becomes nitrogen because it's adding a proton, right? The proton or the nitrogen breaks down into carbon 13, release a positron and neutron, and then it's bombarded by another proton, which then becomes nitrogen 14, nitrogen 14. That nitrogen 14 is bombarded by the another hydrogen, which becomes oxygen 15, gives off a positron and neutron, which ends up becoming nitrogen 15 bombarded carbon. This becomes carbon 12 or gives off carbon 12 and then the helium. Okay, so energy transport, how is the energy transported in the star? Well, energy generated in the star center that to be transported to the surface in some way. Okay, so energy is going to flow from the hot core to the cooler surface as the either radiation or convection. Conduction is not really used because it is are important in use because it not only moves that energy but it also mixes and stirs the material. Okay, so in radiative energy transport, you have got just the actual energy and radiating straight. It comes through the forms of gamma rays, gets bombarded through the little collision here, absorbed and released. It usually given off in lower energy levels such are not just gamma rays. Your ultraviolet, your infrared uh, infrared, then you have your outer layers or most of your star use your inner layers. This way outer layers would be zone which is where stirring and mixing gases, the hot gas rise and the cool gas things, the cool let's see the let's see the upper surface. uh, I think this isn't what I mean. I need the law of hydrogen. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, so our sun is going to be one of the main sequence star because it's cooler. It has radiative zone in the middle which is the core which where energy through nuclear fusion and uses the proton-proton chain. It makes the energy. The energy is then given off through radiation until it reaches the outside. When it gets the outside part of the sun, or this is the photosphere, this is where convection takes place, and convection, hot gases, right, and cool gases sink. Okay, you got your nuclear fusion in the inside your red convection zone. Here the most of the star follows this path with their energy transport. Okay, as you go from the core to the temperature in the density, and the pressure is actually getting lower, the temperature here is really high. As you get further away from that it layer, that when it up again, the density here is extremely high. As you get out further and further, there more pressure, of course, with the temperature low. So any stars that are approximately one solar mass or less, which is a good majority of the star seen, have the same structure and follow the same energy transport. Hydrostatic equilibrium. All right, hydrostatic equilibrium, it's said, imagine that a star interior composed of individual shell. It was in each with other in order for this to maintain its structure, and this called the law of hydrostatic equilibrium. Pressure on a layer gaps must be balanced by the pressure in the gas. Okay, so the weighing down will be gravity is pulling down, and then invert pressure pushing outward, that they have be equal. Pushing outward is there because of the temperature on the inside inside on the inside of that star, that of this star that of this star. And hydrostatic equilibrium, inner layer of the star must be hot. They have because the must weight pressure there, all temperature, that temperature is not there, the pressure not there, and it falls it on self. Here just some more about it. Outward pressure force, we must it exactly above anywhere in the star. Okay, and that what helps the build in the interior of the star. Stable star on such a narrow strip in the main sequence on the HR diagram. So here HR diagram, narrow strip, stable star, some good majority of them are right. Perfect balance, perfect balance. Okay, perfect balance, energy transport. So the upper main sequence star, these here are way more massive. Okay, they must be hotter, must be hotter inside, and that allows, and we use this see carbon in a cycle, carbon nitrogen oxygen cycle is so sensitive to temperature. energy production uh, Energy production called teeny tiny compared to the rest of the star, and that teeny tiny center is going to be your convection zone. Then the outside big part of the star outside is going to be radioactive zone. And then on the other end of the sequence stars, lower main sequence star are less massive, not as hot inside, fuse hydrogen using the proton-proton chain, are not sensitive temperature, so the energy that generated is more widely spread. Just so it got little bit larger core, and it gonna radioactive zone. Outside is going to be convection zone, and the lowest mass star are so cool, they are gases are opaque, and they pretty much convective zone all the way throughout. I keep forgetting I have got all these things on here. This is all stuff that I said. Okay, all right. So just to summarize, here we have got or Sun, it's one of the lower main sequence star. It's got a radiator core, convection. Proton cycle or proton chain. These upper main sequence star are going to be convective of convection core radiation outside, and they are going to have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen